Hello, this is Kimberly Thomas, the reading teacher, and I will be presenting to you my final project for EDU 620. I will start with my lesson plan. Here, as you can see, this is a lesson plan that encompasses a week of my lesson. My lessons unit is the Civil Rights Movement. And of course, I use this unit to help integrate social studies and also to discuss civil rights movement since it is Black History Month. I'm going to read to you my learning targets for reading and ELA. My reading learning target says I can analyze multiple accounts of the same events or topic, noting important similarities and differences in the point of view they represent. My ELA learning target reads, I can form and use the perfect verb aspects. And the reason that I read my learning targets is so that you can see how I connected my learning targets to the activities that were integrated through technology with my students. I also have my target vocabulary here, which were used throughout the week with the students with the Quizlet activity. So I am going to show you the different activities that the students are using. In my class, I have a setup where the students are in centers. As an activator for one of my days, I'll be using a Kahoot activity where the students will review the present, past, and future tense of verb usage. And so here, as I go to my Kahoot site, the students will, of course, use the classic activity where they have their own devices. The students will be asked to bring in their devices. Those students who do not have a device will be allowed to check out an iPad from the library or use the desktop. I have 5 desktops in my class, or the students will be allowed to use one of the desktops in the class. So I should be able to accommodate all the students with some sort of technology if they do not have their own device. From there, we will move forward and the students will go back to their independent learning, which displays their learning through doing a activity in their work session. During the work session, the students will assemble into their groups, their ability group, and they will go to their specific reading literacy center. So I have 4 centers in my room. The centers are the SOAR Center, and SOAR stands for Strategies of an Awesome Reader. In that center, the students will be given a graphic organizer to complete, which displays the similarities and the differences that they've learned about, reviewing a picture of Ruby Bridges as she is escorted out of the school building by the U.S. Marshals. And then they will also be directed to read a document or article about Ruby Bridges as well. Upon completion with this center, the students will go to a Linguit page where the students will answer this question, list one similarity and one difference between Ruby Bridges' article and the photo of her being escorted out of the school building by the U.S. Marshals. The students will post their information. So within that group, there should be about 4 to 5 students, no more than 6 students in that group. So the students will have to either share 1 or 2 of the iPads that I will have set up in that station. So the next station that the students will go to, and understand that my students, I have 4 different centers in my room, so the students will only go to 1 center per day. So the stations or the centers that they will go to, they'll have 1 specific activity to complete per day. So students will also go to my vocab lab dictionary, where they'll do a dictionary dig. And with that dictionary dig, they're asked to use the dictionaries to complete a FREA model. And they have specific vocabulary words. The vocabulary words that were displayed here, the target vocabulary words, the students will select one of those vocabulary words and they will complete a FREA model, either before or after, because within that station, I'll probably have 1 or 2 of the iPads. The students will do a Quizlet where they will review flashcards that are that displays the vocabulary words for the week, the target vocabulary word for the week. So here the students will go in and they will use the vocabulary words that are already set up as just a review before or after they finish with that specific activity in the vocab lab. The next station the students will work on will be the guided reading station, where they'll just read certain articles, informational text that talks about the civil rights movement. They'll probably read something on Brown versus Board, the Montgomery bus boycott, and the March on Washington. From there, the students are allowed to take AR tests that of selected books that are in the classroom. So they will be able to go to Renaissance Learning, which is a website that we have in Bibb County. They'll sign in as a student, and then they will they're not allowed to take AR tests once they're out of school, but they will be allowed to sign in and then be able to take an AR test, and from there they'll get dojo points. My last station that the students will work on or work in is our comprehension corner, and they'll complete a comprehension passage that followed by questions in this station. In the comprehension corner, the students are allowed to reinforce what they learned in our ELA, which is the present, past, and future tense of verbs. So they'll be asked or directed to go to MobyMax, and they'll sign in using the school's code and their sign-in code to get in. And then I have assigned them specific activities to complete that reinforces their learning of the present, past, and future tense, perfect tense of verbs. Now, noting that all of these activities are done within the classroom, the students will use my Weebly account. So they will go to ktomasthereadingteacher.weebly.org, which is also displayed here at the top of my lesson plan. They'll use this site to navigate back and forth between all of the different educational links that are used. So here we have the link for the Linuit that they'll use in the Literacy Center. We have the link for the Quizlet, which they'll use in the Vocab Center. They also have the link for the MobyMax, and they're directed to use to complete those modules that are assigned, present, past, and future tense of the verbs. And then also our Accelerated Reader, the Renaissance Learning website, they're also allowed or directed to use this website. So this keeps down website surfing, as I like to call it, within the classroom. So that, in conclusion, the students will have opportunities to use these, the few different types of integrated technology pieces that I've included in my lesson plans. The Kahoot for a review, the flashcards within the Quizlet activity, also for a vocabulary word review. Here, the Linuit, which shows a connection of what they've read and what they've seen in reference to Ruby Bridges. Our Renaissance Learning, which allows them to take AR tests and to receive AR points. And finally, MobyMax, which helps them to review our ELA standard. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.